So I'm standing on the edge of the D9, just about 1 mile east of Fontenay-le-Pénel, which is down the road there. You can see the traffic coming towards me from that direction. And approximately from that road, which is 10 yards from where I'm standing now, further 10 yards along here, and then about 40 yards into this barley field that you can see in front of me here, in the evening of the 8th of June 1944, 40 prisoners, Canadian prisoners from the Royal Winnipeg Rifles, who had been captured following fighting at Puteaux-en-Bassin, which is about 4 kilometres up this track in front of me, had been taken prisoner. As I say, they'd been marched down here, and as they got to the spot where I am now, back towards, you can see the road there, they thought, I would imagine would have thought, that they had reached sort of the point where they could be relatively safe as such, albeit they're under captivity. And this road that I've talked about, the D9, they describe as being very, very heavy with German military traffic. We are very much in the German sector now, to the west of Caen, just after D-Day. And a half-track vehicle pulls up and stops just between those two trees there that you can see there. And what's described as a German officer, high-ranking officer, wearing a long coat, comes out and begins to shout orders at the men and the soldiers that are guarding them. And they tell the men to sit down in what is this field here, about 40 yards from where I'm standing now, so literally within spitting distance with a good tailwind. And they do that. The same officer then orders the German soldiers escorting them to form a semicircle, tells the Canadian soldiers to sit down in a circle, and then orders the German soldiers to follow them into the field in a half semicircle, by which time the Canadians, I think, will have guessed what's coming next, and they open fire on them, and 35 of the 40 men are murdered on the spot. 5 somehow managed to escape into the long grass behind them, and managed to make their way back eventually to the Allied lines, where they report the massacre. It's the single biggest massacre in Normandy, in as much as 35 killed on this spot. There is no memorial here at all, absolutely nothing. There's no plaque, there is no roadside shrine or anything whatsoever to commemorate the atrocity that took place here on the 8th of June, something I find absolutely stunning. Having spent today, especially driving around and looking at some other massacre sites and the actions of the Canadians post D-Day, there are commemorations everywhere, and yet this was the single biggest atrocity, and there is nothing to commemorate it here. And there are reasons for that, and I don't know what they are. I don't tend to understand, but I just find it very, very strange and also very sad that such an event could almost pass unnoticed in terms of commemoration.